All right guys, this week in the shop we have a brand new vehicle. This is a 2024 Toyota 4Runner TRD Off-Road Premium model. And you guys can see that Sienna and a couple of guests here are working on a full front PPF installation. This is actually quite an aggressive front bumper, so we're gonna go ahead and show you guys a couple of details on this that's gonna be probably tricky to handle.
Yeah.
So I might have all the relief cut is inside, not outside.
All right guys, so what Sienna is discussing here is a small relief cut. As you guys can see just how aggressive this radius is for this corner, you're gonna have to make some relief cuts. And we're trying to show these gentlemen here what a proper relief cut looks like and what's acceptable for a customer. All right guys, so Sienna over here is covering a few tips on how to handle edges and corners for hoods. You guys know that we're doing a lot of air cutting on that, so we're doing bulk installation almost purely for hoods. So yeah, just covering those techniques with these guys. Welcome back to the channel, guys. So we are back and working on this 4Runner again. You guys can see that Sienna has busted out the steamer. It's been a while since we've been using the steamer, just because you guys know that steamers really like to get the glue really tacky, and so you gotta work really fast. And it's only really reserved for extremely tight compound curves like Sienna is working on right now on this 4Runner, on this front bumper corner right here, guys. You guys can see this extreme corner radius that Sienna is working on. She's using the steamer to lay down the finger. Basically, you stretch it in all directions that you could possibly go. Now, mind you guys, the core pattern for this 4Runner is a little off, so it's about like a 1/4 inch short if you don't stretch it properly. So you have to stretch it in all directions to the corners to make sure your alignment's perfect. But at the same time, when you get to right around the fog light right there, you're gonna have to use the steamer. All right guys, and we were not able to cover this type of detail in training just because, I'll be honest with you, we just didn't get to this part. You don't run into these types of situations until you really do run into them in real world situations. We did explain to them during the training that we do use steamers from time to time on items like lucid hoods and things like that. However, if you guys look at this 4Runner, this is a very good example of when we have to use this type of technique. All right guys, and we are back and Sienna is wrapping up this front bumper area. We're gonna go ahead and call it for tonight and actually pick up the remaining in tomorrow morning, as well as leave some pieces for our training tomorrow as well. So there have been a couple of like errors on things like that, so we had to redo the fenders, we had to do that. But you know, that's part of training and it's part of learning about PPF. Now, I just gotta explain this to you guys, and I just gotta really just be brutally honest with you guys. PPF is not something that you could just take one training class and master. It really isn't. You know, a lot of these techniques, Sienna had to learn by making a ton of mistakes. You know, a lot of customer comebacks, a lot of film that's being wasted, a lot of, you know, things that you just make errors on. So, you know, we just wanted to let people know that just because you take a PPF training, doesn't matter how good the instructor is or whatever it is, it's not gonna make you the best PPF installer out there. You're just gonna have to go out there and practice, practice, and practice. So yeah, just wanted to point that out to you guys. I mean, it's not to discourage any of you guys from getting into installing PPF. However, you know, just wanna set some ground rules because, you know, set your expectations on what you guys are getting yourselves into. And one thing that I wanted to share, guys, is PPF is all about resilience, guys. If you guys give up on some, you know, issue that you guys run across, this is not the field for you guys. You know, Sienna has been there time and time again, finding out ways and techniques and just doesn't give up. You know, she'll sit there, plot out another piece and do it again and again and again until she figures it out. And we've done that for Lucids, we've done that from all the Teslas that we worked on, all the Porsches that we worked on, because they all have very different, unique personalities. Every car is very, very different, how it was designed and how the body shape is. So yeah, just wanna approach every project, you know, personally and in that manner, then you guys will be successful. All right guys, welcome back to the channel. So we have the second day of this training well underway. We actually spent the first part of the day kind of going over some of the issues that developed overnight, such as air bubbles and things like that. Something that we know that when you release and deliver the car back to the customer, it's gonna develop issues and have comebacks. So we just wanted to make sure we point that out. But yeah, we're moving on to the second part of the day, and we're wrapping up this fender as well as these headlights. All right guys, so we're having the guys over here at Signature and Detailing. We're actually having them doing this very headlight on this 4Runner, and it's actually a very complex. So the headlight shape is very, very angled, and it has some extremely sharp radius. So yeah, they're gonna work through it and see how they get it done. All right guys, so you guys can see that Sienna is inspecting some of their progress. So a lot of guys that are starting off with PPF, they're a little unsure about squeegee pressure and things like that. So they actually are battling with silvering and some micro bubbles and things like that. But I think these guys can get it down pretty good. It seems like a very good install for a very complicated design headlight. All right, and welcome back guys. So we are pretty much all wrapped up with this 4Runner guys, and we also taught a PPF instruction course on this car. Now that kind of completely backfired in our faces guys, and the reason being is we kind of had a high expectation on people's progress, but a lot of people when they first get into PPF, they struggle. So, you know, that's something that we have to definitely take into account for the future. You guys can see that Sienna is working on these rear fender flares. Guys, this kit does not include this on the pattern from Coarse. So this is a complete 100% custom hand cut job. And for this reason, we did charge the customer an extra amount. We did charge them $350 for the 2 rear flares add-on that you're seeing Sienna installing now. All right guys, and something like this, you just can't teach bulk installation in a day or two, and it's just very, very difficult. And I think that's one thing that the Signature Mobile Detailing guys were a little frustrated at, because we were teaching them a variety of skills like how to bulk a side mirror, how to bulk a front hood, and things like that. And yeah, they were just getting very, very frustrated because they were getting a lot of silvering issues, the product pre-tacking, and eventually they worked the film so much that there was a lot of distortion in the film. So I think it's just safe to say a lot of practice on your own vehicles. So we did give them a couple of scrap pieces of PPF that was cut out into patterns for their own vehicles so they can go ahead and practice on their own time. However, for all of that, guys, we did charge them $1,000. This was our first time doing some sort of task like this. So yeah, just wanted to share that with you guys. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and have Sienna just wrap this up. We're gonna post-heat all the edges, guys, and this customer also did opt to go with a ceramic coating, so we will be adding our 7-year Art to Shine nanographing coating to this vehicle. And for that service, guys, we did charge them an extra $900 as an add-on to this package. One thing we had happen during this service, guys, you guys can see this green light on my DI water tank, but it was turning just red as soon as you turn on the pressure washer and things like that. So that actually means that the tank is completely exhausted. So we already have a tank replacement on order, and they will bring us a new tank with new media so you guys have spot-free water. Again, we use this water for everything in the shop, including car washes, as well as our solutions for our slip solution and things like that. So yeah, just keep that in mind, guys. Keep an eye on your water. Make sure that the PPM isn't creeping up and things like that. Yeah, so you don't have any issues during your install. We are just about wrapped up on the other rear fender flare and just about to head into post-heating and ceramic coating this vehicle. Now, I think this vehicle is a very, very large vehicle, and it's actually very, very complex. So it's actually not the easiest of vehicles to do on your first time around, especially when you look at the headlight patterns and things like that. So the front bumper requires you to do things like use steamers and get it really tight radiuses down. It takes a lot of work. So if you guys have any questions about this kind of install for your vehicle, or if you're trying to learn PPF, feel free to always drop us a message. Hit the like and subscribe button if you guys like what you guys are seeing. All right, welcome back, guys. So it is the next day and it is delivery day for the customer. So we have wrapped up this STEC Dyno Shield full front PPF package for this customer on this 2024 4Runner TRD Off-Road Limited. We also opted to go with Art to Shine nano graphene coating on the entire vehicle, guys. So this is ultra slick, ultra hydrophobic, and it's gonna help them repel all the bird droppings, tree sap, all the contaminants that you might be facing on your daily drive. All right, guys, and just like that, we are all wrapped up with the service on this 2024 4Runner. This is the TRD Pro Limited model, so it has a little bit of a variation versus the SR5 and some of the other models that you guys see out there. The customer opted to go with our full front PPF protection package, and this covers the front bumper, the hood, the headlights, the fog lights, as well as that little skid plate down there, and the fender flares, as well as the fenders. So this was a very challenging car because you guys can see just how tough the angles are. And let me kind of give you guys a close-up view of exactly what we're talking about. You guys can see just how complicated this headlight looks. This is actually quite a very difficult headlight to do. It is insane because, let me explain why. If you guys look closely, you guys can see that the headlight has a big, humongous bulge right here, and it bulges out like this. So there are two relief in the pattern that actually goes on. So this is one of those headlights that I think is actually gonna be a lot easier to just bulk, because you can, kind of play around with the film and stretch as needed with the extra material. Without the extra material and working out those fingers was quite a bit of a challenge. Sienna on this one also chose to do a one-piece mirror installation with a small relief, guys. And the relief is just right here. And make sure when you guys are making relief cuts, don't just make a straight relief cut, because it will just tear the film when you guys are trying to stretch it. So you have to have a rounded relief cut when you guys are doing that type of cut. Another big challenge on this front bumper were these extremely tight radiuses to wrap the edges. And if you guys can see, this is a very good example of right here of how tight it gets right here. So it gets very, very tight, and it wants to just, finger and pop up over there. So we had a bit of a challenge, and this is actually, we haven't used a steamer in a long time, guys, but this is one of the times we actually busted out our steamer. Another part that we actually hand custom cut were these rear fender flares. It's actually not included in Coarse patterns, guys. So if you guys are plotting all of your PPF, just keep that in mind. You can't get this part from the software. That also includes the front part of this flare, which actually extends out to there. And then the rear part is right there, guys. All right, guys, so we are all wrapped up with this vehicle. The customer is on their way to pick up the vehicle. We will go ahead and use our new app, Orbis X, to go ahead and, bill them out, take their invoice, as well as their payments. So I just wanted to share this video with you guys. If you guys are running this type of business at home or at your shop, whatever you guys do, if you guys have any challenges with vehicles, we're always willing to help out. Feel free to drop us a message. And if you guys like what you guys are seeing, please hit the like, subscribe button, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Again, this was Eddie and Sienna with Rap Stars.